कीर्तन गान तन परौ प्रेमामृत निधि धीर धीर जन प्रिय कृष्ण कीर्तन गान नर्तन प्रभु प्रेमामृतम निधि धीर धीर जन प्रिय प्रिय करो पूजित चैतन्य कृपा भरौ भुवि भुव भारा तारक वंदे रूप सनातन रघुजुगो श्री जीव गोपालक वंदे रूप सनातन रघुजुगो श्री जीव गोपालक कृष्ण कीर्तन गान कीर्तन गान नर्तन परम प्रेम वीर वीर जन प्रिय प्रिय करो निर्मा चैतन्य कृपा भरौ श्री चैतन्य कृपा भरौ भुवि भुव मारव अंतरक वंदे रूप सनातन रघुजुगौ श्री जीव गोपालक विचार नहीं सद्धर्म संस्थापक लोकानां हितकारिणं त्रिभुवने मन्नं शरण करो विचारणैकनिपुना तद्धर्म संस्थापक लोकानां हितकारिणः त्रिभुवने मन्ना शरणाकर विचारणैकनिपुना तद्धर्म संस्थापक लोकानां हितकारिणः त्रिभुवने मन्ना शरणाकर श्री चैतन्य कृपाबरौ लोकानां हितकारिणः त्रिभुवने मन्ना शरणाकर विचारणैकनिपुना तद्धर्म संस्थापक लोकानां हितकारिणः त्रिभुवने मन्ना शरणाकर राधा कृष्ण राधा कृष्ण पदारविन्दौ भजनामृतौ राधा कृष्ण पदारविन्दौ भजना नंदेन मत्तालिका वंदे रूप सनातनं रघुजुगौ श्री कीर्तन गान नतन परौ प्रेम मनिधि वीर वीर जनप्रिय प्रेम पूजित श्री चैतन्य कृपा भरौ मारा रखौ वंदे रूप सनातन वासुदेव सदसुरे सुतराज्य लक्ष्मी धर्मीश्च आजबदस जददाद रन्ना मंडलस्यनी सदा तुच्छव भूत्वा दीनगणे शतो करुणया मंडलपति शनि सदा तुच्छव भूत्वा दीनगणेशक करुणया कौपीनकं आश्रितौ गोपी भावरसामृताब्दलहरी गोपी भावरसामृताब्दलहरी कल्लो लमग्नमोहन वन्दे रूप सनातन रघुजुगौ श्रीजी भगो पालक राधे हे राधे ब्रज देविके च हे नंदसूना कुतः राधे ब्रज देविके च ललिते हे नंदसूना कुतः श्री गोवर्धन पादपतले कालिंदी वने कुतः राधे ब्रज देविके च ललिते हे नंदसूना कुतः श्री गोवर्धन पादपतले कालिंदी वने कुतः गोसंतापिते वो संतापिते सर्वतो ब्रजपुरे खेदई विहुबलौ वन्दे रूप सनातन रघुयुगौ वो संतापिते सर्वतो ब्रजपुरे खेदई महाविहुबलौ वन्दे रूप सनातन रघुयुगौ बालक कृष्ण कीर्तन गान रतन परम प्रेमामृतम मणि धीर धीर जन प्रिय प्रियकर हिमांसरौ श्री चैतन्य कृपाभर भुवि भुव हरः वहन् तारक वन्दे रूप सनातन जगजुग कृपा बोले परी तब कृपा बोले गया अगो सीतापति अद्वैत गोसाई तब पावले पाई चैतन्य निताई गजकार सीतापति अद्वैत गोसाई तब पावले पाई चैतन्य निताई रूप रघुना युग श्री जीव प्रभु गया करो श्रीयाचार्य श्रीनिवा राम चंद्र संग मागे गया करो आचार्य प्रभु श्रीनिवा राम चंद्र संग मागे श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु दया कर मने तुम्ही बिना के दयाल जग श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु दया कर मने तुम्ही बिना के दयाल जग जय राधे जय कृष्ण जय वृंदावन गोविंद कृष्ण मदन जय राधे जय कृष्ण जय वृंदावन जय जय महामंत्र Jamuna Jaya Jaya Mahamam Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan Sri Govinda Madana Mohan Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan Sri Govinda Gopina Madana Dada Sakhanam Kesi Bhadam Shivatam Dada Sakhanam Jahan Jahan Leela Kaila Srinanda सब लीला कैला नंदन श्रीनंद जसदा जय श्रीनंद जसदा जय जय गोपम सीतामती जय जय धेनु अक्षरम सुंदरी जय पूर्णमासी जय धीर नगरी जय राधे जय कृष्ण जय वृंदावन Govinda Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan Shri Govinda Gopinath Bhagavan Jaya Vrindavan Shri Govinda Gopinath Bhagavan Jaya Jaya Gopi Sada Vrindavanama Jaya Jaya Krishna Sakha Batu Jara Jaya Jaya Gopi Sada Vrindavanama Jaya Jaya Krishna Sakha Batu Jara Jaya Jaya Rama Ghat Rohini Nandan Jaya Jaya Vrindavana Basi Jatana Jaya Patni Jaya Naga Pandagan Jaya Jaya Bija Patni Naga Pandagan Bhakti Jahara Paila Govinda Chara Jaya Jaya Patni Jaya Naga Pandagan Bhakti Jahara Paila Govinda Chara Siracho Mandala Jaya Jaya Ramasha Siracho Mandala Jaya Jaya Radha Jaya Jaya Rasa Dila Jaya Jaya Rasa Dila Sadhamana Jaya Vrindavan Shri Govinda Gopinath Bhagavan Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Jaya Jala Rasa Sarva Rasa Sam Parvati Araha Pradet Pota Jannabi Padapamma Kariya Smara Sri Jannabi Padapamma Kariya Smara Dina Krishna Dasa Hare Dina Krishna Dasa Hare Dasamati Nandana Brajabada Nagara Gokula Ranjana Kana Ramati Nandana Brajabada Nagara Gokula Ranjana Dasamati Nandana Brajabada Nagara Gokula Ranjana Kana Parana Dhana Magana Manahara Kaliya Damana Vidhana Gopi Parana Dhana Magana Manahara Kaliya Damana Vidhana Dasamati Nandana Brajabada Nagara Dasamati Nandana Brajabada Nagara Gopi Parana Dhana Parana Dhana Magana Manahara Kaliya Damana Vidhana Dasamati Nandana Brajabada Nagara Namaya Harinam Amya Vilasa Vipina Purangara Navina Nagara Mara Bhakti Madana Suma Harinam Anya Vilasa Vikina Purandara Navina Nagara Bara Banki Madana Sudasa Dasamati Nandana Brajavada Nagara Gokula Ranjana Dasamati Nandana Brajavada Jana Parana Asurakriyana Chana Nandaka Dhana Rakhamala Jana Parana Asurakriyana Chana Nandaka Dhana Rakhamala Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskanam Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskanam Sundarananda Gopala Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskanam Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskanam Sundarananda Gopala Dasamati Nandana Brajavada Nagara Dasamati Nandana Brajavada Nagara Gokula Ranjana Dasamati Nandana Brajavada Nagara Gokula Ranjana Ramana Tatachara Jamuna Tatachara Omi Vasanahara Rasarasika Rachara Gopi Vasanahara Rasarasika Kripama Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavanatava Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavanatava Bhakti Vina Bhajasayam Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavanatava Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavanatava Bhakti Vina Bhajasayam Dasamati Nandana Brajavada Nagara Gokula Ranjana रसमति नंदन ब्रज बदनागर गोकुल रंजन गोपी परानंदन मदन मनोहर कालिय गमन विधान गोपी परानंदन मदन मनोहर कालिय गमन विधान रसमति नंदन ब्रज बदनागर गोकुल रंजन रसमति नंदन ब्रज बदनागर गोकुल रंजन वचन हर दास रसिक कृपमाय रामुन तट चल गोपी वचन हर रास रसिक श्री राधा वल्लभ वृंदावन श्री राधा वल्लभ वृंदावन भक्ति विनोद श्री राधा वल्लभ मननाथ भक्ति विनोद समति नंदन ब्रज बदनागर गोकुल रंजन रसमति नंदन चिंतामणि प्रकर सदमसु कल्पवृक्ष लक्षावृतेषु सुरभिरभिपालयन्तम् लक्ष्मी सहस्रशतो संभ्रम सेव्यमानम् गोविन्दं आदिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि चिंतामणि प्रकर सदमसु कल्पवृक्षलक्षावृतेषु सुरभिरभिपालयन्तम् लक्ष्मी सहस्रशत संभ्रम सेव्यमानम् गोविन्दम् आदिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि वेनं कन्मन्तं अरविन्ददलयताक्षं वेनं कन्मन्तं अरविन्ददलायताक्षं बरहावतं समसितां बुधसुन्दराङ्गम् कन्दर्पकोटि कमनीय विशेषशोभं गोविन्दम् आदिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि चिन्तामणि प्रकरसद्मसु कल्पवृक्ष लक्षावृतेषु सुरभिरविपालयन्तम् लक्ष्मी सहस्रशतसम्भ्रम सेव्यमानम् गोविन्दम् आदिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि आलोलचन्द्रकलश वनमालवंशी रत्नांगदं प्रणयकेली कलाविलासं श्यामं त्रिभंगललितं नियतप्रकाशं गोविन्दम् आदिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि चिन्तामणि प्रकरसद्मसु कल्पवृक्षलक्षावृतेषु सुरभिरभिपालयन्तम् लक्ष्मी सहस्रशतसम्भ्रमसेव्यमानम् गोविन्दम् आदिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दम् आदिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दम् आदिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि चिन्तामणि अंगानि यस्य सकलेन्द्रियवित्तिमन्ति पश्यन्ति पान्ति कलयन्ति चिरं जगन्ति अंगानि यस्य सकलेन्द्रियवित्तिमन्ति पश्यन्ति पान्ति कलयन्ति चिरं जगन्ति आनंद चिन्मय सदु जल विग्रहस्य
Logically, this is not. Jai Hare Krishna. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki Jai. So start with a small invocation prayer, and then by noon we'll start with the Guru Puja for Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Jashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Jashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tiravana Chari Yamuna Tiravana Chari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Jashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Jashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Jashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tiravana Chari Yamuna Tiravana Chari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Haribol, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribol. Nitai Gauranga Haribol, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribol. Jaya, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Jaya. Jaya Vaishnava Thakur Srila Prabhupada. Vaishnav Thakur Srila Prabhupada Jaya Vaishnava. Jaya Patita Pavan Srila Prabhupada. Patit Pavan Srila Prabhupada Jaya Patita Pavan. Jaya Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupada. Bhakti Vedanta Srila Prabhupada Jaya. Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Gurudev. Jaya Patita Pavan Srila Gurudeva, Patita Pavan Srila Gurudeva. Jaya Gurudeva, 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 Jai Gurudeva. Jai, Jai Om Vishnupad Brahmansa Privrajgacharya Stotarstu Shishimad, His Divine Grace, Srila Abhaycharan Arvindam, Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, ISKCON Founder Acharya, BBT Founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Jai Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur Ki Jai, Jai Shri Shri Radha Kalachanji Ki Jai, Jai Srimad Bhagavad Gita Itharupa Ki Jai, Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavata Mahapurana Ki Jai, Jai Shri 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 Chaitanya Chaitamrita Ki Jai, Jai Shri Gaura Bhakta Brinda Ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you everybody for attending today's celebration of the disappearance of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur Ki Jai. So the Disappearance Festival is a very, very special festival. It is a festival where we recommit ourselves to the mission of the Acharya. In this case, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's mission. This is the time when we say to ourselves, okay, in the past, we were able to do so much service, but now we commit that we will double the service for the pleasure of the Acharya, in this case, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur Ki Jai. So, anyway, let's put our hands together and chant with me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swa Padantikam Vanchakalpa Turubhischa Kripasandhuvya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhya Vaishnavebhya Namo Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pesthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Shunyavadi Paschati Deshtarin Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupa Nuga Varayate Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Brinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jai Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Shri Shri Radha Kalachanji Ki Jai, Shri Gaur Bhakta Brinda Ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Pramande Hari Hari Bol. So as those of us who have been in this movement know, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was not an ordinary personality. He was an eternal servant of Lord Krishna. Actually is a Manjari who actually came to this planet to give us the highest understanding of bhakti. the highest understanding of how to love God. And so, in his final days, he wrote a very, very important prayer that he titled Sri Sri Swaniyama Dwadaskam, which actually translates as self-imposed regulative principles. So these are, he says, in these 12 verses are my own self-imposed regulative principles. And when we hear about these principles, we learn what is bhakti, what it means to actually be a devotee of a devotee of a devotee of Krishna. This is the essence. Srila Gauranga Mahaprabhu told us that we have to be Gopir Bhartu Padakamalayar Dasa Dasa Anudasa. That we should actually be the servants of the servants of the servants of those who are the servants of the gopis of Braja. So here Bhaktivinoda Thakur actually explains this, how this is actually done. So in the first verse, I'm not going to read the Sanskrit verses because they're quite long and it'll take more time. I want to go into the essence of what Bhaktivinoda Thakur told us so that we learn this and understand this and make this one with our heart. If we make this one with our heart, then Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that the way to become a devotee is to do three things. First is to understand the instruction of the spiritual master. What is it that the spiritual master wants us to do? Secondly, to ask every person we can possibly ask what they think that instruction means so that we understand that instruction fully, all 360-degree understanding of that instruction. Then the third thing happens, and that is that we become one with that instruction. Vyavasatmaka buddhi ekeha kurunandana. We become one with the instruction. When we become one with the instruction, then we've become a devotee. And we can see in Srila Prabhupada's example, who is a perfect devotee who walked on this planet, that he actually became one with the instruction of his spiritual master. And he carried out his spiritual master's instruction, and as a result of that, what happened? The whole world had the opportunity to become fully Krishna conscious. And so many people became truly Krishna conscious. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was one of the mentors of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada actually read all of the works of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and made it his life and soul. Now how important is Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur? Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, at one time, there's a story I'm going to tell you, so it tells you how powerful this personality is. So one day he was sitting on a train station, at a train station, with his son, who later became Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And while waiting for the train, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur passed out. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur always knew that his spiritual master, his father, was not an ordinary person. So he didn't get all excited, oh, my father has passed out and I have to go and get the doctor to treat him. He stayed calm and he waited. Then after some time, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur came back to consciousness. So he asked his father, what happened? You passed out. He said, yes. He said, so what happened? He said, what happened was that in Satyaloka, Lord Brahma was giving a class on Bhagavad Gita. And the Bhagavad Gita class was from chapter 9, text 34, where, that very controversial verse is there, that if one commits the most abominable offense, one should still be considered saintly because the person is well situated, properly situated in their life. Right? So, Lord Brahma was giving the class, sitting on a Vyasasana. And there the Vyasasanas are quite high. And Brahma is a great person, right? He's very big. Actually, we have no idea how big he is because he's so big that he wouldn't fit on this planet if he came with his ordinary size, his original size. He's really a huge, huge person. Very, very big person. Don't worry about the child. Let the child play. You focus on the class. Don't let distractions worry you. Never worry about distraction. Child has to play. Child is child. They need to play. What can be done? So, but the people who were sitting in front of him, they were not ordinary personalities. They were the best of the devotees of the material world, sitting in front of him, listening to the class. So it is a etiquette that when someone gives class, there should be pin drop silence. Everybody should pay full attention like that. So what happened was, suddenly the audience started murmuring, So it sounded like there was something not quite right. Because they're not supposed to murmur while the class is being given. Means they were, pss, 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 talking to one another, like that. That's called murmuring. So Lord Brahma realized there's something up. What I'm speaking is not fully satisfying the audience. So he got up from his Vyasasana. And then he went to Shivaloka and he brought Lord Shiva from Shivaloka and told him, you give the class on this verse. So Lord Shiva gave the class. After a while, again, the audience started murmuring. Now what to do? These are the two most powerful personalities who understand Bhagavad Gita perfectly. So then Lord Shiva said to Lord Brahma, I actually have the answer. He said, what's the answer? He says, I know someone who is very qualified. And he says, who is that? He says, it's Bhaktivinoda Thakur on planet Earth. So I'm going to go to planet Earth and I'm going to bring him and ask him to give the class. So he came and he took Bhaktivinoda Thakur to Satyaloka. Lord Bhaktivinoda Thakur sat on the Vyasasana, gave the class, and there was pin drop silence. Everybody felt this was the perfect class on that verse. This is Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Then when he came back, he explained this to his son. His son already knew my father is a great person. His son was not surprised. But his son felt so happy that Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma also felt that his father was a great, great person. One day, Bhaktivinoda Thakur's spiritual master came to visit him. And so Bhaktivinoda Thakur actually greeted him, and when he greeted him, paid obeisances like to the spiritual master. So his spiritual master put his foot on Bhaktivinoda Thakur's head to bless him, like that. And then, after a while, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur had to go to the bathroom, so he excused himself. And when he excused himself, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who wasn't at that time known as Bhakti, he was just the son of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He severely chastised the spiritual master. And so, who do you think you are? You can put your foot on my father's head. You have no idea who this person is. You have no right to put your foot like that. He really dressed him down. Then Bhaktivinoda Thakur came back to the room. So then the spiritual master complained to his disciple that your son really chastised me. I mean, he really let me have it. Bhaktivinoda Thakur just smiled and said nothing. This is how great Bhaktivinoda Thakur is. So when you hear his prayers, we should take it to heart and understand this is the essence of Krishna consciousness. In the first verse he says, no matter whenever and wherever I may happen to take birth. This is a devotee. A devotee does not think that he or she is going back to Godhead. A devotee thinks, I'll never make it back to Godhead, it's okay. I'm already in Krishna consciousness, that's my greatest fortune, I'm already happy. There's nothing to be unhappy about. It's fine, I'm already have the opportunity now to love Krishna. And I've heard about Krishna, and I know about Gauranga Mahaprabhu, and I have all these wonderful devotees who will always bless me so that I'll always remain Krishna conscious. So whatever birth I take, he says, let my loving affection and attachment remain unshaken throughout each and every lifetime for the following things. You might remember in one of the prayers of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he even prays to be an insect in his next life in the house of a devotee. Imagine. I mean, I had an insect walking over and I was trying to get rid of him. He's a very smart insect. He knew how not to do it, These insects are not ordinary. Those who hang around temples, they're not ordinary insects. You see what I'm saying? Krishna himself says that I come in every life form to speak Bhagavad Gita to them. So you never know. He might be a big acharya amongst the insects, and this is from Bhagavad Gita. He came also to take advantage and to preach and to hear and to preach. Maybe preach to me too while I'm speaking. See what I'm saying? So he says, no matter what lifetime I'm in, these are the things that I'm going to always, always adhere to, these principles. Number one, I will always be affectionate and attached for my divine spiritual master. Number two, for Sri Gauranga. Number three, for the detailed topics of pure devotional service and the methods of its execution as personally instructed by Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Number four, for the holy places of pilgrimage such as Sri Navadvipa, Sri Kshetra, which means Jagannath Puri, Sri Vrindavan, etc., which are all blooming with divine sanctity due to his performance of wonderful pastimes therein. This is one of those dhammas. At one time, many wonderful devotees who came here said that this temple is a petal of Vrindavan that has sprouted in Dallas. Our deity is a very special deity. Gauranga Mahaprabhu has personally danced in front of Lord Kalachandji 500 years ago when he was in India. So this is not an ordinary temple. When you come to this temple, you should understand you've come to the topmost place in creation. Then he says, number five, for the Diksha mantra bestowed upon me by the divine grace of my spiritual master. It is important for us to take initiation and get that Diksha mantra and to be attached to that Diksha mantra. What is our Diksha mantra? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I really like Jai Gauranga Prabhu's answering phone. You know, your phone, you hear first the singing of the Maha Mantra, him singing the Maha Mantra. You have to wait until it's all over before you hear, now please leave a message. Number six, for the holy name of Sri Hari, because the Lord has many names, right? Number seven, for the most beloved eternal associates of the Lord. Now all devotees are beloved associates of the Lord. Always treat all devotees with a lot of love and affection. Even those who are not initiated, they're also devotees. It's just a matter of time, right? Then they'll also take initiation. If they have love in their heart for Krishna, if they're chanting the Maha Mantra, if they accept Gauranga Mahaprabhu as the Lord and Master of our movement, they are a devotee. Number eight, for the Lord's dearmost devotees who strictly follow in the sacred footsteps of Srila Rupa Goswami. We are known as Rupanugas. So we should always follow in Rupa Goswami's footsteps. And those devotees who follow in their footsteps. Prabhupada said there's two ways to be pure. Either you be pure yourself, which is going to be very hard to do, or you follow somebody who is pure. Then if you're a follower, you're also considered pure. Just like somebody who's taking a bath in the shower, you cannot complain, why are you dirty? They're taking a shower, right? After the shower, they'll also be clean. And finally, for the holy scriptures narrated by Srila Shukadev Goswami, such as the Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is the first prayer. In the second verse, he says, the Supreme Lord Krishna is the personified abode of all divinely ecstatic, mellow tastes. And Sri Radhika is the topmost abode of his divinely potent energies. Indeed, she is the personified form of the highest mellow of love in separation. Within the forest of Brinda, which is gloriously rich in the all-pervading treasure of the sweetest Madhurya Rasa, this Lord Krishna is continuously enjoying as he makes Sri Radhika happy by his loving service rendered to her 24 hours a day. He is rendering service to her 24 hours a day. And what is Radharani's happiness? Radharani's happiness if we serve Krishna. If we serve the devotees of Krishna, particularly the spiritual master and the acharyas, Radharani becomes very happy. So this very same Lord Krishna is exactly identical to the son of Mother Sachi, who eternally lives simultaneously yet separately in Gaudadesh as the instructor of the process of rendering his own service. May this Sachinandana become my supreme master and guide, and may he always appear to me just to lead me on the proper path of devotional service, birth after birth. Srila Prabhupada said that the good luck deities of Kali Yuga are Gaura Nityananda, Lord Gauranga and Lord Nityananda. If we pray to them and simply say, my dear sirs, and ask them anything, they will take care of you fully. At one time he even said, we should make lots of dolls of Gaur Nitai and go to every street corner and give these dolls away free to people and say, if you want to become the happiest person in the world, take these dolls home, take small incense, light incense, and then offer some water, and then ask anything you want from these deities. They are good luck deities, they'll take care of your life. And you'll be first class in your life. We still have not done that yet. I think one day some devotees will take this to heart and start doing this. Then the whole world will become Krishna conscious. In the third verse, he says, let no form of so-called renunciation or asceticism become fit for my acceptance, as it does not give rise to the continual expansion of my eternal serving mood of loving devotion. And let no form of so-called knowledge or intellectual cultivation appeal to me at all if it does not admit the reality of eternally individuality shared by the Lord and his devotees during their everlasting daily pastimes. I have no desire at all for practicing any branch of the eightfold yoga process, for none of them contain any scope for enjoying the daily pleasure of serving Lord Krishna, such as his confidential worship does. Rather, may I render profuse, uninterrupted, confidential service 24 hours a day to Sri Sri Radha Krishna for all of time to come, such service being the means as well as the ends. This is why Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur changed the system of initiation. Initially, the system of initiation was that the spiritual master would tell you who you are in the spiritual world, and your life would be how to practice that now. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur realized that was not possible in Kali Yuga because everybody is so fallen, they would never understand who is an eternal associate of God. So he changed the system to Diksha by mantra. So he gave the Maha Mantra. If you chant the Maha Mantra, then you will come to realize everything. All success will come. That is why it is said in the Vedas, Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam eva kevalam, kalo nasteva, nasteva, nasteva kitenta. Om Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, iti shodashakanam nam kali kalmashunashanam nato paratarapaya sarva vedushdesha. This 16-worded mantra will destroy all of the inebrities, all of the faults of Kali Yuga. There is no other process higher than this. All of the scriptures declare this boldly. So we should always follow this process nicely. You need me to move away, Prabhu? Is that good enough? I'm okay? All right. All right, then he says, in the next verse, he says, may I continuously reside in a small, lonely cottage at the base of the desire tree in the most holy abode of Sri Navadvip Dham, which is sanctified by the lotus feet of Sri Shachinandana. Such a bhajan kutir is perfectly suitable for constant remembrance of and service to the divine daily sports that are always present in Sri Brajadham. This is why Srila Prabhupada built temples like this. Because these places are places of holy pastimes. And if you live around close by, then you can visit often and actually take part in these pastimes. Hare Krishna. So the idea is, if we can't do that, then we create a Bhakti Vriksha or a center, and then also create a holy place like that. So others can also come there and take part in these pastimes too. This is the way to do things. Then he says, I will never live in any other place, even if it is banqueted with a great enthusiasm by the most wise sages and demigods of all sorts. Means even if you have the biggest castle in creation, I will not go and live there. as far as all other places in this world are concerned, whether opulent palaces or temples, even temples, if they're not serving Radha Krishna, Gauranitai, Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra like that, he doesn't want to live in those places. Those temples are useless, he says. Whether possessing vast riches of enormous wealth or princely kingdoms and property, all such places cannot attract me as much as my modest bhajan kutir in Sri Navadvip Dham does. Live in simple place. Main thing is always be fully Krishna conscious and associate with devotees. It is the pastime of the devotees, even if the pastimes are sometimes rough. Sometimes when you deal with devotees, it gets a little rough. Don't worry about it. That rough is nothing. That's just like a roller coaster, right? You have a ride. Sometimes the ride gets a little scary. But that's the fun of the ride, right? If it doesn't get scary, it doesn't get fun either. Because scary contrasts the fun. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes Krishna arranges difficulties to happen in devotee's life to provide contrast. If there was no day, there'd be no night, right? If there's no white, there is no black. You see what I'm saying? If there is no light, there is no darkness. There is no darkness, there is no light. Then he says in the next verse, the fifth verse. The fifth verse tends to be always amongst the acharyas the verse that pleases Radharani a lot, because she loves the fifth note of the Bhagavatam. That's why this fifth is very important with the Panchatattva, right? 5 tattvas. So he says here, I have no attachment at all to any of those caste divisions of society such as Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishya or Shudras. And I certainly do not identify with any order of life such as Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha or Sannyas. I have no fondness or respect at all for the so-called piety of religiosity, or even for the so-called impiety of sinful life in this world. Not even the slightest regard. That's pretty much 99% of the world, right? In that, there's 99% right there. I truly desire whatever is practically required just to maintain this material body in order to facilitate my performance of pure devotional service. This is the actual righteousness that I will hope for as long as this material body continues to exist. What a powerful prayer, right? Then he says in the 6th verse, these are the favorable authorized practices and devotional qualities. He says, my austere vow is constant devotion to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. In order to execute that vow, I have accepted the following qualities by my own behavior. These are the things, these are the 5 things that he wants to follow. Number 1, I practice great humility in all my dealings with everyone. Number 1. All humility with all persons and in all dealings. Number 2, I try to keep simplicity and purity prominent in all of my practical arrangements. Keep it simple. Don't complicate things. Life is already messed up. Why complicate it worse, right? Keep it simple. And go for purity. Aim for purity. You might be pure there, but keep trying. Number 3, I maintain extreme tolerance in all kinds of favorable or unfavorable circumstances. We have to be very tolerant. I remember my spiritual master once saying, if you really want to be successful, there are 4 things you have to do. You have to be very compassionate to other living entities. You have to understand everybody is suffering. Please help them. Don't get mad at them. Don't chastise them. Help them. Number 2, be very tolerant. People will insult you. They will say bad things about you. They'll kick you out of the movement. You stay tolerant. You understand nothing can happen without Krishna's will. Why it happening without Krishna's will? Rakhe Krishna, Mare Krishna, Rakhe ke. See what I'm saying? Be very tolerant. When you're tolerant, Krishna is arranging. Even if it takes you away from some situation, he's arranging to do something bigger. Like Srila Prabhupada was removed from Gaudiya temples 3 times. He was kicked out of the temples. 3 times. I mean, just try to get kicked out one time, you'll see how bad it feels. 3 times he was kicked out. Then what did Krishna give him? The whole world. The best temples in the whole world. He was tolerant. He didn't fight back. He didn't complain. He went out onto the street. He didn't have anything. But he tolerated. Be tolerant. Now, if you're in position of responsibility, you don't have to tolerate. You have to sometimes respond. And you shouldn't tolerate others, insulting of others. But for yourself, don't ever worry about. Krishna is going to directly take care. He says that. Dakshina prakriti suyate sacharacha. Every fine minute detail I will control. Then number 4, I offer all respects unto others regardless of who they are. What a great principle, right? Who will not love you if you love everybody? And even if they don't love you anyway, that's okay. You got the love of many people. How many people do you need to love you anyway? You see what I'm saying? How much love can you handle anyway, right? Number 5, I feel genuine compassion for all living entities and act accordingly. Always be very compassionate and act accordingly. He says, there are many transcendental activities which are recommended by great devotees who are fixed up in unalloyed devotional service to the lotus feet of Sriman Mahaprabhu. And these can be found described in the books that are full of the imperishable character and pastimes of Mahaprabhu, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Only such transcendentally nectarian activities, being recommended by great devotees and practiced by Lord Gauranga himself, are indeed my own. So this is the way. Always read pastimes of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. In those pastimes you'll get to hear so many wonderful things about how to be a nice devotee. 7th verse. Wow, we're running out of time. I have no attraction for living in Vaikuntha, that part of the spiritual sky presided over by Sri Lakshmi Narayana. Nor do I desire useless activities of gross sense gratification in this material world. I will never cherish the desire for attaining the divine bliss of impersonalistic liberation, even for a second. Furthermore, there are many transcendental pastimes of Sri Hari that may be very purifying for all conditioned souls, yet such pastimes will never ever give me any real happiness at all. Why? Because such pastimes are quite different from blissful ecstasies of Braja consciousness, being completely devoid of any relationship with Sri Radhika, who is the one and only fountainhead of pure joy. So always follow Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Gaudiya Vaishnavas means those Vaishnavas who are following Radharani's servants many times removed. So I'll continue until the offering comes off, and then we'll start with the Guru Puja, okay? And then those verses I did not read, you please look for it online and you can read the other verses. They're very, very good. 8th verse, he says, this is a little heavy, so please understand what he's saying, okay? Because it's a little heavy. And I'll explain as we go, because it's really very heavy. He says, I now disown my wife, my daughters, my sons, my mother, all my friends. If, this is the if, you should know, if they have no genuine attachment for Krishna and Gauranga Mahaprabhu and his devotees, or for his devotional service. Now, we're not recommending that for those of us who might have spouses like that. You be very Krishna conscious, the spouse will join sooner or later. They see you a nice devotee, then they'll also become nice devotees, right? If you don't become a nice devotee, why they want to become a nice devotee? So then it's not anybody else's fault, it's your fault. It is definitely a great aim even to accept food grains. It is definitely a great sin even to accept food grains prepared by such non-devotional, materialistic sense gratifiers. So here goes our restaurant food, except Kalachandji's and Govinda's. If I were to remain in the company of such persons, then how will the eternal perfection of my Hari Bhajan ever come about? Then the 9th verse, he says, there are certain persons who appear to be very advanced in devotion. Indeed, to increase their service to the Lord, they have long since rejected the evil company of. So this is what you reject. Number 1, those who are completely blinded by faulty arguments arising from so-called intellectual logic. Number 2, those who are madly addicted to the fleeting pleasures of the dull material body. Number 3, those who are averse to and envious of Lord Sri Krishna. Number 4, and those who are very fond of the inferior, distasteful concept of liberation as it is cherished by the impersonalists. They have thus favorably avoided all kinds of bad association. Yet it is seen that such persons worship Lord Govinda without Radharani. Imagine they do all those things and worship Krishna, but Radharani is not there. This is what he's saying. This just shows that they're actually puffed up with successive pride and conceited arrogance directed against Sri Radhika, who is herself the best worshipper of Govinda. Therefore, I will never go anywhere near such so-called devotees, even for a second. This is my strict vow. Devotees is rejecting if they do not accept Radharani as the head. Our head is Radharani. Therefore, we are Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Srila Prabhupada said, when you come to the temple, you should stand in front of Krishna and pray through Radharani. Speak to Radharani, pray to her. She will tell Krishna, and Krishna will do. Krishna has no choice. That's why Radharani is a hand like this. Don't worry, I am here. You don't have to worry about him. You talk to me. I will take care of him. And he's a big guy, right? He's a very big, brute force person. But when it comes to Radhika, he's like very easy to deal with. Very simple. Very simple heart. So for us, we're very fortunate that we have such beautiful deities. He says, passing my life, in the 10th verse he says, passing my life in a simple practical way, 1, eating only prasad food grains and milk products, the remnants of Krishna and his mercy. Number 2, wearing only prasad cloth that was offered to the deity. Now this is very true. When you wear new clothes, they say you should touch that to your head and pray and offer it first to the deities before you wear it. Always wear prasad cloth. First offer to the deity. If you have not done that, do it now. Whenever in the morning, whenever you wear clothes, always pray to the deities, please, this is your cloth and I'm putting it on me. That's prasad. We're always prasad, which means we're always by the mercy of the Lord. Anything we do, by mercy. Nothing else we can do. Not even a blade grass moves without the mercy of Krishna, right? Number 3, using only the pots and utensils sanctified by the Lord's exclusive service. So this is for offering to the Lord, but also all the other pots are served after that pot has been served, right? And then number 4, I will thus remain completely aloof from material sense gratification. This is the answer. How to be away from sense gratification. Again, what are the 3 things? Eat only prasad. 2, wear only prasad cloth. And 3, make sure that first food is offered in pots and pans that are separate for Krishna, only belong to Krishna. Then you eat from there. Transfer to your pot, then eat. If you do that, your material desires will vanish. Living by the side of Sri Radhakunda, her very own abode, worshipping the divine couple with a blissful mood, this time, the time will come for me to die. At the soles of the devotees' lotus feet, who are themselves serving the lotus feet of the divine couple, I will thus give up my body. Always remain in the association of devotees, so that when you're dying, some devotees are around you, and they can bless you while you are leaving your body. 11th verse, there is a class of pure devotee who is completely expert and experienced in following all the instructions of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Such a devotee incessantly worships Radharani exclusively, who is indeed the most worshipable personality and who is deeply absorbed every day in relishing the divine mellows of Krishna's association. The pure devotee of this caliber definitely performs his confidential worship wholeheartedly and with exclusive surrender unto Sri Radhika. Thus he always lives in Brajadham, or like a temple like this. I shall take the nectarian water that has washed the lotus feet of such a devotee and carry it on my head. Drinking it with great joy and with a devout heart, I will then happily offer my full prostration upon the ground in the nicest, most perfect way that I possibly can. This will indeed be the routine each and every day. And then the 12th verse, it says, as a spirit soul, my natural tendency is to be eternally situated in the loving devotional service of Krishna. However, due to the strong power and influence of Mahamaya, I have somehow plunged deeply into the fathomless ocean of material sorrow and grief. I shall transcend this world of Maya and go to the spiritual world only by faithfully following these self-imposed vows every day. And the only way I will get the strength to follow these vows is by attaining the mercy of all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. May their causeless mercy and soft-hearted compassion, which wards off all illusion, become my exclusive friend and guide for all time everlasting. So then it is said, this stava named Sri Niyama Dwadaskam was written by someone, he's writing it himself, was written by someone to adjust and regulate his own personal mode of performing bhajan. If any other devotee happens to chant or hear this stava with a very special quality of resolute faith, fully offering this mind into one, the supreme beautiful forms of the divine couple, Sri Sri Radha Govinda, his most dear possession. Number 2, or to the divine beauty of their deity form. Number 3, or to the beauty of Sri Gaura Sundara, the combined form of Sri Sri Radha Govinda. Or 4, to Sri Rupa Goswami, the dearmost devotee, beloved devotee of Sri Sri Radha Govinda and Sri Gaura Sundara. Then that fortunate reader definitely attains his own place of eternal residence in Sri Brajadhama. Always following behind his own Gurudev, in his own spiritual body, who is in his own spiritual body, he finally renders all kinds of variegated eternal services for the exclusive worship of Sri Sri Radha Kalachandji, Sri Sri Radha Krishna. Jai. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki Jai. So please get a copy of this and try to read this often, because this is the topmost of bhakti. If we follow this process, yes, sir. It's called the Sri Sri Swa Niyama Dwadaskam. If you write on Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur's 12 verses, if you type that on Google, this will come up. Dwadaskam means 12. So the 12 verses of self-imposed regulatory principles written by Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. It will come up. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. And now we will do the Guru Puja to Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Sri Sri Radha Kalachandji ki Jai. Sri Gaura Bhakta Brinda ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Vanchakalpaturbhascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhya Vaishnavebhya namo namaha. Anantakoti Vaishnava Brinda ki Jai. You want to chant the Guru Vastaka, the morning Mangalarti prayers? Thank you. You can chant. Yeah. You can use this.
And everyone offer the flower?
Yeah, they'll offer flowers for you.
So after Aarti?
No, they'll offer flowers now.
Oh, no.
This is the Guru Puja now.
Okay.
Only thing we do the Guru Vandana, Guru instead of the Guru Vandana.
So first we will chant 3 times Bhakti Vinod Thakur Pranam Mantra and then offer and then Samsada. Yes. If anyone can play mridanga, that's fine. Otherwise, if nobody is there, then maybe I have to do. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna, Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Hari Bol, everyone. So, okay, someone can distribute the flower. Okay, so everyone can collect the flower. And we'll offer 3 times Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur Pranam Mantra. And you can offer your flower to Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur. And then we'll chant the Guru Vandana. जय श्रील सच्चिदानंद श्रील भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर महाशय की। नमो भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानंद नामिने गौरस्वक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपानुगवरायते एषो पुष्पांजलि। जय श्रील भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर महाशय की। नमो भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानंद नामिने गौरशक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपानुगवरायते एषो पुष्पांजलि। जय श्रील भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर महाशय की। नमो भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानंद नामिने गौरशक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपानुगवरायते। जय श्रील भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर महाशय की। जय श्रील भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर डीजे पेरेंट्स डे सेलिब्रेशन की। संसार दावा नललीढलोका त्राणाय कारुण्य घना घनत्वं संसार दावा नललीढलोका प्राप्तस्य कल्याण गुणार्णवस्य वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणारविन्दं। प्राप्तस्य कल्याण गुणार्णवस्य वन्दे गुरो श्री वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणारविन्दं। वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणारविन्दं। वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणारविन्दं। वन्दे गुरो श्री महाप्रभु कीर्तननित गीत वादितमादन मनसरसेन। महाप्रभु की मनसरसेन रोमाञ्चकम्पाश्रुतरङ्गभाजो वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणारविन्दम् रोमाञ्चकम्पाश्रुतरङ्गभाजो वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणार वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणारविन्दम् वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणारविन्दम् वन्दे गुरो श्रीविग्रहाराधननित्यनान शृङ्गारतन्मन्दिरमार्जनाद शृङ्गारतन्मन्दिरमार्जनाद युक्तस्य भक्तांश्च नियुञ्जतोऽपि वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणारविन्दम् वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणारविन्दम् वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणारविन्दम् वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणारविन्दम् वन्दे गुरो श्री चतुर्विधा श्री भगवत प्रसाद स्वादन्न तृप्तान् हरिभक्त संघान् भगवत प्रसाद स्वादन्न तृप्तान् हरिभक्त संघान् कृत्वैव तृप्तिं भजत सदैव वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणारविन्दम् वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणारविन्दम् वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणारविन्दम् वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणारविन्दम् वन्दे गुरो श्री श्रीराधिका माधवयोर पार माधुर्यलीला गुणरूप नामना प्रतिक्षणास्वादनलोलुपस्य वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणारविन्दम् वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणारविन्दम् वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणारविन्दम् वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणारविन्दम् निकुञ्जजोन रतिकेलिसिद्धै जाजाल भीर जुक्तिरपेक्षणीया তত্রাতিদাক্ষাদতি বল্লভস্য বন্দে গুরু শ্রী চরণারবিন্দম তত্রাতিদাক্ষাদতি বল্লভস্য বন্দে গুরু শ্রী চরণারবিন্দম বন্দে গুরু শ্রী চরণারবিন্দম সাক্ষাদ্ধরিত্বেন সমস্ত শাস্ত্রৈ রুক্তস্তথা ভাবত এব সদ্ভিঃ কিন্তু প্রভোর প্রিয় এব তস্য বন্দে গুরু শ্রী চরণারবিন্দম বন্দে গুরু শ্রী চরণারবিন্দম বন্দে গুরু শ্রী চরণারবিন্দম বন্দে গুরু শ্রী চরণারবিন্দম বন্দে গুরু শ্রী যস্য প্রসাদাৎ ভগবৎ প্রসাদ যস্য প্রসাদান্ন গতি কুতোপি ধ্যায়ংস্তুবংস্তস্য যশস্ত্রীসন্ধাং বন্দে গুরু শ্রী চরণারবিন্দম ধ্যায়ংস্তুবংস্তস্য যশস্ত্রীসন্ধাং বন্দে গুরু শ্রী বন্দে গুরু শ্রী চরণারবিন্দম বন্দে গুরু শ্রী চরণারবিন্দম জয় ভক্তি বিনোদ ঠাকুর ভক্তি বিনোদ ভক্তি বিনোদ ঠাকুর ভক্তি বিনোদ জয় ভক্তি বিনোদ ঠাকুর ভক্তি বিনোদ ভক্তি বিনোদ ঠাকুর ভক্তি বিনোদ নমঃ বিষ্ণুপদায় কৃষ্ণপৃষ্ঠায় ভূতলে শ্রীমতে ভক্তিবেদান্ত স্বামিনিতি নামিনে নমস্তে সরস্বতী দেবে গৌরবাণী প্রচারিণে নির্বিশেষ শূন্যবাদী পাশ্চাত্য দেশ তারিণে Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Bol Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hello, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Prabhu Jagannath. Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Swami Prabhu Jagannath. Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Swami Prabhu Jagannath. Jai Baladev, Jai Subhadra, Jai Baladev, Jai Subhadra. Jai Baladev, Jai Subhadra, Jai Baladev, Jai Subhadra. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Pathagami, Nayana Pathagami Bhavatu me. 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 Jaya Radha Kala Chanji, Radha Kala Chanji Radhe. Jaya Radha Kala Chanji, Radha Kala Chanji Radhe. জয় গৌরনিতাই 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 জয় গৌরনিতাই জয় গৌরনিতাই 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 জয় গৌরনিতাই জয় ভক্তি বিনোদ ঠাকুর ভক্তি বিনোদ ভক্তি বিনোদ ঠাকুর ভক্তি বিনোদ জয় জয় প্রভুপাদ 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 জয় প্রভুপাদ জয় জয় গুরুদেব 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 জয় গুরুদেব নিতাই গৌর হরি বল হরি বল হরি বল গৌর হরি বল নমস্তে নরসিংহায় প্রহ্লাদল্লাদদায়িনে হিরণ্যকশিপুর্বক্ষঃ হিরণ্যকশিপুর্বক্ষঃ শিলাটঙ্কন খালয়ে শিলাটঙ্কন খালয়ে ইতো নৃসিংহ পরত নৃসিংহ यतो यतो यामि ततो नृसिंह बहिर् नृसिंह हृदये नृसिंह बहिर् नृसिंह हृदये नृसिंह नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपदे नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपदे तव कर कमलवरे नखम् अद्भुत शृंग दलित हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गं केशवधित नरहरिरूप जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे तब कर कमलवरे जय नृसिंहदेव जय नृसिंहदेव नृसिंहदेव जय नृसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज নিতাই গৌর হরি বল, হরি বল, হরি বল, গৌর হরি বল। জয় বিষ্ণুপাদ পরমহংস পরিব্রাজকাচার্য অষ্টোত্তর শত শ্রী শ্রীমৎ শিলাভয় চরণারবিন্দ ভক্তিবেদান্ত স্বামী শিল প্রভুপাদ কি। ISKCON BBT founder Acharya His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki. Nityalila Pravishta Jayang Vishnupad Paramhamsa Paribrajagacharya Ashtauttara Shata Sri Srimad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki. Jai Brahma Madhya Gaudiya Acharya Vrinda ki. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki. श्री रूप श्री सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ षड गोस्वामी प्रभुगण की। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिराज गोवर्धन की। जय श्री श्री मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की। जय श्री श्री द्वारका अयोध्यापुरी धाम की। जय श्री श्री पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की। जय श्री श्री मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की। गंगा माई जमुना माई की। भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की। जय श्री श्री राधा कालाचांद जीव की। जय श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की। जय श्री श्री गौर निताय की। जय शुभ मध्याह्नकालीन भोग आरती की। जय श्री सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर डिसअपियरेंस डे सेलिब्रेशन की। जय श्री सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर तिरुभाव तिथि महामहोत्सव की। जय श्री सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की। जय श्री श्री नृसिंहदेव भगवान की। भक्त प्रवर प्रहलाद महाराज की। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की। जय ISKCON गुरु वृंद की। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की। गौर प्रेमानंदे। All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. 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 All glories to Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada ki.
Baba,